Hi guys, so I'm going to be filming a makeup tutorial on this look today. I am doing a very natural, summertime, minimal makeup look. Most of my face is done with creams. There's only one powder product that I use actually on my face, and that's my highlight, and that's even after I've used a cream highlight, and I've set the creams down with a powder. This look I think is amazing for the summertime. It holds through sweat for me. It is foolproof. You can go from really dramatic or like very fancy occasions that you want to just kind of look like yourself to hanging out with some friends with your hair pulled up and you just kind of wanted to add a little bit of color to your face. But yeah, so I love this look. I've been wearing it a ton this summer. So if you like it, please keep on watching, and yeah, see you in a sec. Okay, so to start off, I have moisturized my face and my under eyes, which I don't think I can stress enough how that's like the most important step to this makeup routine for me. Next, in order to prime, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Makeup Setting Spray, the Oil Control, the De-Slick one. I just have a little sample of it. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's not very much left. I really don't like this as a setting spray because I have dry to like normal to dry skin, and putting this on top of my makeup, like on top of a powder or any other kind of makeup, really just dries out my skin even more. So for me, like the most important stuff is moisture for my skin, and this product just really dries it out. But that being said, I really like it as a like a priming kind of mist, because it's locking in all of those oils underneath your skin, and it's not going to make the powders that you put on top look like super dry or really dry them out. Okay, so the next step, I don't actually own the product. I actually have a sample of it that was sent to me, like one of those free sample things from Sephora when you order a whole bunch of stuff, you put a code in. It's the Kat Von D Lock It Concealer in Medium 19 Cool. That's the color I'm going to be using because I'm a little bit more tanned right now. I don't know if like lights and stuff are washing me out, but I'm a little bit more tanned, and I'm just going to use this right underneath my eyes and into my inner corner here because I get super dark, and the last couple of weeks I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. So in order to kind of combat that, I have to use some form of a concealer. And I only put the concealer kind of right where my purple darkness is, and I'm applying that with a Morphe S4 brush. And it's really not a lot of product that I'm using. If I had the like actual tube, I'm sure I could like not swipe the product so much, but I'm just using what I have, and like once I run out of all of these, because like the 4 colors I have, I can kind of mix and match to make this same color every time. But once I run out of it, I have a couple other concealers that I want to use, and then I'll probably repurchase this Kat Von, or I will purchase for the first time this Kat Von D Lock It Concealer, because I do actually really like it. I think it has amazing coverage. I don't go through my products enough. I've been working so hard to try and get through all of like the products I have. I have this huge desk that has products everywhere, and I have so many brushes. It's just I can't go through products fast enough because I don't wear makeup enough. I just love makeup so much. So typically in the summer I don't really wear any form of like base. The extent of it will be this kind of concealer thing I got going on. Then once I'm done like applying the product onto my face, I'm just gonna take a damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion, whatever the little purple one is called, and I'm just gonna pat that underneath and on top of my eyelids. And that's just to really get rid of those lines, because I find whenever you use a brush, it's like impossible to not kind of have streaky lines, especially with the nature of the product that I'm using. Like it's a very full coverage, fast drying kind of product. So this just kind of helps to pat it out and make it all look very skin-like. And I like to pull it down just a tad onto my cheeks. And then right here you can see there's still a little bit of purple, so I'm just going to go back in with the brush and a little bit more product and just pack that on right here. Then instead of blending it all the way out with the brush, I'll just place the color where I want it. And then I'll go back in with my little sponge and tap it out so that more coverage is where that purple is. Just to kind of make everything look nice and natural. And using a damp sponge is hands down my favorite way to put any form of like cream product on my face. It just really makes everything blend into my skin really nicely. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with my blush. Recently I have been using a mix of these two. One is Revlon Photo Ready Coral Reef 300 and Revlon Photo Ready Pinched 100. Both super pretty colors. I start with this one, the lighter peachy one. I just take my fingers. I don't even know if you can still get these products. I'm sorry if you can't and you're following this and you're like, oh, but they are cream blushes. I'm sure they're still in the Photo Ready collection. Mine can be a little bit dry, so I just take a little bit of any kind of makeup oil that you have on hand, whether that be like the Smashbox Photo Finish primer oil or whatever it is, or if you have like the Josie Maran one or any beauty oil that you have that's good for your face. I put like half a drop into this product and it really just makes it all nice and creamy again. But I'm just going to take my fingers and tap, starting on the apples and working my way back. Something for my like cream, blush, bronzer, even like highlight kind of thing that I like to do is with the little bit of product that is left on my fingers, I like to run it across my nose just because that's kind of a really natural thing that your face does when it gets flushed. Even though like this coral color isn't necessarily the natural color that would appear on my face, it is still the natural progression of where the color would appear. So I like to kind of bring the product not too high into the temples either. And it's just this weird like tapping, pushing, rolling motion I do with my fingers. And then the lighter color is done, which is like the foundation for the color and the flush that you would naturally get in your face. And then I take the darker, more coral, way less natural color, and I just take a little bit of that and I put it farther back because, and I actually put it a little bit lower too. So I try to concentrate it a little bit here, and then I'll work it almost to the front. And I like to use my other clean finger to kind of tap it out so that it's not continually being concentrated over and over again with more and more pigment, because this color is actually super pigmented. I went a little bit overboard on this side, so I'm just taking a damp beauty sponge and I'm just going to tap it out. That kind of diffuses the color, and it'll take a little bit of the color away. But I love using cream products like this in the summer because it just makes it look so natural, like as if I've just come in from outside and I have this nice flush to my face. So my next step that I'm going to be doing is my highlight. I use a cream highlight and a powder highlight for this look. I am using the Revolution Makeup Ultra Strobe Balm in Euphoria. And I just take, again, my ring finger and my middle finger, swipe it in the product, and then this is like the most amazing duochrome ever. But I just put it on the top of my cheekbones, and then I put it into my eyebrow. Well, into my eyebrow, under my eyebrow, onto my brow bone, just because I really like that kind of C shape. That looks really natural, I think, because if you're going to sweat or you're going to have any kind of like shine to your face, it's going to be in this general area, and whatever's left on my fingers, I just put a little bit right on top of my brow, right where the arch is. Then whatever's left on my fingers, I just take down my nose, and then on my Cupid's bow, and then on my chin. I don't know about you, I really like a good chin highlight. And then a little bit on the center of my forehead if there's anything that's going to even come off. Then I take 2 cream highlights. So then I take this Model Co. Highlighting Trio Champagne Peach, Bellini, and Bronze. I take the Champagne Peach. No, I take Champagne and a little bit of Peach Bellini. So this top one and then this side one. And I just use my ring finger for this, and it's just a little bit. Just touch it in and mix it up. And I just do this on the very high points of my cheekbones, because it just gives a little bit of extra glow. And a little bit different, right? Like, as much as I want it to be, oh, I'm not really wearing any makeup, I'm still wearing makeup. I still want you to notice me. Hi. And I'm going to take my beauty sponge again, and I'm just going to tap over everywhere that I applied that cream highlight. Okay, and now we're coming to the end of the cream products. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to add bronzer. So I have this Bourjois bronzing primer. It's like really moussey, and I take that with my beauty sponge and the side with the little tip, and I just dip it right into the pot like this. Get a very little bit of product because you can always build it up. And I just suck my cheekbones in a little bit, and I apply the product where I would normally apply bronzer. I bring it up onto my hairline and across my forehead. Again, with this, I take across a little bit of my cheeks and across my nose. And then I'm just going to take the rounded end of my beauty sponge and go over everything that I just put down. I put a little bit on my jawline. And just go over all of that again to really let it blend into my face. Now this is the final cream product step. I'm going to be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit in medium, and I'm just going to take the color Cinnamon, which is the first one right here, and I'm just going to take that on my index finger, and I'm just going to run it very slightly on the product, just like that. And now I'm going to contour. It's going to be a really light cream contour. It's not going to be like what you would normally kind of see for like Instagram contouring or like a full glam contour. It's very subtle. I don't bring it all the way down. I focus it really at the back of my face where I want to really have my cheekbones kind of suck in and like, okay, so just from kind of where my tragus part is here in my ear, bring it up a little bit with my finger. And then I'm going to take my same sponge that I've been using the whole time and just pat it out. And I'm working my way backwards again into my hairline. Backwards and kind of up. From here we're going to go ahead and powder. And I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. High Definition Powder. I love to use it for this kind of very sheer all over light set. I just take my Morphe Y3 brush, and I'm just gonna have a lot in the lid right now. I'm gonna tap it in very gently to get some product off, and then I'm gonna put it in the cap that doesn't have any product and swirl it around. Then I'm gonna start with my under eyes and my eyelids, because those are the two kind of like main focus areas that really do, I feel, need to be set because product will get away from them. Then I just take a little bit down my nose with whatever's left on there. Then I'm just taking whatever's left on the brush over top of that highlight because I don't want it to really like take away all of that like product that we just put on there. And just take whatever's left in the cap here and run it along the rest of my face. Okay, so the next step is going to be the eyes. Arguably, my favorite part of any makeup look is doing my eyes, but for this one, it's super simple, super minimal. We're just going to take the CoverGirl Intense Shadow Blast Prime and Rich Shadow. It just has a little doe foot applicator like this, and I just put a couple of dots on my eye, and I use my finger, and I tap it all up. And you just kind of keep building this up until the intensity is what you want it to be. I like it to be noticeably shimmery and a little bit lighter than the rest of what's going on my face. Make sure to bring it into your inner corner too, because it acts as an inner corner highlight. And I like to bring it just a little bit underneath here, underneath my tear duct. Next, we're going to go back in with the little Real Techniques sponge and just tap over top of it to make sure that there are no harsh like fingerprint lines or anything. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of MAC's Rice Paper on an Morphe M209. It's just a little shader brush. Just in the product here. This is a Frost, and it's very skin toned, very similar to kind of what's already going on the lid. And this just helps to set it down. And the product is a little bit chunky, glittery. So this just helps to kind of smooth it all over and make it look a little bit more natural. Again, I take it into my inner corner and then just slightly underneath. And we just smooth it all over. From there, I'm going to take a Jessup Blending. It's a 217 brush. I got this off of like eBay, and it's just a really big fluffy brush, good for kind of blending. So I'm just going to blend out any harsh lines up here before we do the next step for the eyeshadow. Taking my Sephora Z palette right here. It's kind of a mishmash of a whole bunch of different things. I have my Laguna bronzer in there, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna take this very warm brown color here. And we're just gonna take a very little tap off any excess, and we're just gonna add this to the outer V and crease. And this just helps to add warmth back into the eye. And we're not trying to like define it or anything. Then just taking a little bit of the color that I have right next to it. It's a little bit darker, a little cooler actually, but it's just of the smallest amount on the same brush. It's a Morphe M443. I'm just gonna concentrate that more in the corner. And again, this is just to make everything look a little bit more natural. Then we're going to go back to our Jessup blending brush, which is just a little bit bigger. It's literally like the exact same brush, just a little bigger. And we're just going to blend all of this out. And I even take it and blend it over top of the lid shadow that we've already done. And that's really all I do for the eyeshadow for this look. It's super simple. First, we're going to do brows. I almost totally forgot to do my brows. So we're just going to take a little spoolie brush and brush them out. I did just recently get them threaded, which is always like a enlightening experience for me, because I let mine grow way too long, like way too long. I'm just taking this little eyebrow powder stuff. There's a really dark brown and a black. I don't know if you can tell, I'm one of those girls with eyebrows that are essentially black. So I go in with a black eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna very lightly fill in where it's a little sparse. So right here, here, and then a little bit in the tail. That's all I do for my brows, especially for like this natural look that I'm going for. And to kind of lighten it up a little bit, I use some sort of tinted brow gel. This is an Elizabeth Mott Queen of the Fill tinted brow gel. It's a medium dark. Just a little thing like this. And I always completely set my brows standing straight upwards. So I take the brow gel and I always make them go straight up so that they're always like looking real funky. Just like that. Don't worry, I don't leave them like this. Okay, so now, for now, brows are done. I leave it so that the brow gel can kind of set, standing straight upwards, and we're going to move on to mascara. And I'm going to be using two NYC mascaras today. It's the Volume by the Lash Big Bold Mascara. Looks like this. And I'm going to be using the Separating Mascara High Definition. Pretty sure this is discontinued. I mostly use it for the brush though. It's really small and it does a really good job of separating, hence in the name, but I think it had more to do with the brush, less to do with the product. Because this one has a really big brush, which is great for getting product on there. Not so good for separating, if you can tell. Okay, so that's done with the big wand. Now we go in with the little one, and it's great for separating and adding a little bit more length. For my last face step, we are going to go in with the Becca Jaclyn Hill Champagne Face Palette. I'm just going to dip into a little bit of Champagne Pop on my Morphe Y11 brush, and I'm just going to hit everywhere that we put that original cream highlight, just because it was subdued a little bit by the powder that we used to set our face. So we just put all this on in that C, down my nose, on my Cupid's bow. And then we take our little spoolie brush, and the brows that we have set with that gel, we just take it, I just take it on the very top, kind of where the skin is, and I just lightly brush down the hairs. Because I push them up so that you can see that definition of hairs, but I don't want the hairs necessarily sticking up and out, so I just take it along the skin just above the brow to kind of push all of the hairs back down a little bit, but it's still leaving the bulk of the brow. Now for the face, to kind of set everything and melt it together, I take my MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus, and I just douse my face. I also have a little fan here that I've been using for years, and that's how I dry my face. Now, to finish up the look, I am going to put a lip product on. You don't always have to. I know for me personally, sometimes I'll just reapply my lip balm and be on my way. But today, to show you the full look, I'm going to put on my go-to lipstick of the moment. I just kind of like found it in my collection, feel like it goes really well with my skin tone and stuff when I'm tanned. It's a little bit lighter. It's the CoverGirl Caramel Kiss 240. Looks like this. It's a nude on like the pink coral side. Sorry, I don't know what's happening to my voice now at the end of this video, but I'm just gonna run this lightly over my lips and just put it on the bottom, and I put it together because this is actually like super pigmented and kind of like whites out my lips. And then to bring a little bit of life back, because it does really pale out my lips quite a bit, is I'm going to take this Makeup Forever Lab Shine lip gloss in D14, and I'm just going to pop this on the center of my lips. and it adds a little bit more of a pink undertone that's a little bit deeper. And that's pretty much all I do for the look. So let me be right back with my hair down. So this is the final look. It's, I think, really natural. Because there's no foundation incorporated, you don't have that extra layer that adds texture. So I think it looks very skin-like, very natural, because it's just sitting on top of your skin. All the definition is still there. Excuse me, oh my gosh, I have the hiccups now. All that definition is still there. You still have a little bit of color, and because we added that shine back on top, you're still glowing and you look really healthy and nice. If you wanted to, you could add some more highlight to your clavicles. You add some to your shoulder. But I just think this look is really versatile, and I've been loving wearing it this summer. I will wear it to going out with friends. I wore it to a fundraising event I had this week, and I got a lot of compliments on it just because it looks very skin-like, and in a really hot environment also, I want to add, it holds up really well on my normal to dry skin tone. So adding that setting primer or that setting spray that mattifies beforehand, and then adding the Fix Plus on top after to kind of help lock everything in. There's just something about that combo that's been really working, and as much as I don't like that De-Slick setting spray, I'm really gonna miss using it as my like priming mist. But yeah, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I love makeup. I'm hoping to keep doing this on my channel more and more and be a little bit more consistent. If you have any requests for looks, please let me know. I am so down to try absolutely anything from full glam to product specific to feature specific, anything you want. Go ahead and let me know. Do me the do me the biggest favor of liking and subscribing to my channel. That would mean the absolute world to me if you liked this look and you like how I kind of talk you through. I'm not great at this yet, but I'm hoping to get better, so thanks for watching.